Hello and welcome to today's how-to video for parents. I am Karen Locke-Culp. I have a podcast for parents of young children, and I have a parent coaching community, and I have a combined 15 years, almost 15 years of experience in helping parents with their kids and also helping their kids, because I was a preschool teacher and I know a lot about this, I guess is really what I'm saying. And today I want to talk about something that has come up in the We Turned Out Okay universe recently, which is that oftentimes, or sometimes, maybe more often than we think, your spouse, your parenting partner may not be on board with what you want to do as you raise your kids. And I mean, it can produce some real conflicts if one parent wants to homeschool and the other one doesn't. If one parent wants to ease up on screen time and the other one you get the sense that your spouse doesn't care. If your spouse is continually, or your parenting partner is undermining the things that you do to try and raise a happy family by always giving in when there is tantruming or never giving in, or and I mean, like, where there's a real disconnect where you feel like they're too punitive maybe, or something like that. There are a lot of problems that we can have, and today I want to offer 3 ways that you can start to work on that you can I want to give you some hope. I think not every human being sees things the way that every other human being sees them, and that's really, I think, where the issues can begin. And so I want to give you 3 ways that you can help bring your spouse on board if they are not, or as I should say, your parenting partner. It's not always a spouse, but sometimes it's a step parent, or sometimes it is your, you're divorced and your child is going to see mom or dad where they live somewhere else, and they come back. You can feel like they come back completely not into what you need them to be into. So these 3 ways I think can be really helpful with all of that. So the first one is to communicate your vision. I think a lot of times we make assumptions. I certainly do this in my life, where I will have an expectation or an assumption that and I don't see the other person's point of view. And I think what we're trying to do is not only see the other person's point of view, but to help them see ours. And to do this, we use things called iMessages. iMessages are not just messages on an iPhone, but they are like, I feel like this, or I feel like that. And something just popped up. I don't know why. Okay, we won't worry about it. That's interesting. All right, when things pop up on my computer, I'm not always 100% knowledgeable about how to handle that. So we're going to ignore it. And now I can see a picture of myself as I'm talking to you. It's weird, but whatever. Communicating your vision means saying to your parenting partner something along the lines of, I'm concerned about ... or I'm worried about ... And to try and bring it up in a way that where you're not saying, you always do this, or you always do that, or you. Like, it's not you messages that we're communicating, it's I messages. I feel this way. What can we do about it? I need your help. We need to work together on this. I need you to work with me. Those are all I messages. A lot of times they involve asking questions. So you're trying to understand where they're coming from, and the best way to do that is to say, can you explain to me your thought process with blah, 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 because I'm trying to understand. That's a big part of it. So that's the first one. Communicate your vision and really bring your parenting partner in on this vision and help them understand where you're coming from, because that is one way to really motivate change. If your parenting partner can understand why you feel this way, they're going to be a lot more likely to change, rather than when you just lay down the law and tell them this is how it is. That can spark serious fights. And that gets to our second one, which is use what I call a safe word. So this has happened in my marriage of nearly 20, oh my gosh, I think nearly 23 years now, either 22 or 23. It's happened many times, particularly when the kids were young, that we were able to save ourselves from getting into a serious argument in front of them, or even at all, because we used a safe word. Our safe word is tippy toes. Whenever one of us would say that to the other one, we would know what that meant and we would take it offline. Basically, having a safe word is about being able to trust your partner to know, oh, this is important and I can't push past this line. So knowing and trusting our partner and being able to say to them, your safe word means that you can talk about it later. You can take it away from even if you just move to a different room and talk about it separately. It saved us. It has saved our bacon so many times. There was a time when I did not want my husband to share a story that was really embarrassing to me. It involved me doing a terrible job when we were first married of taking care of my husband because I was freaking out. He had hit his head, and there are some aspects of that story that like my husband thinks are hilarious, and I don't like to talk about them. And so I said tippy toes, and he knew, okay, I need to stop here. And it's happened the other way where I've gone too far with my husband and he has had to say that, and we talk about it later. So a safe word, it's really helped us in a lot of potentially, kind of angry situations to get out of that and understand each other's perspective better. So that's the second way. And then the third way, if you are struggling within your parenting relationship to get your spouse on board, is to enlist outside help. And the story that I share here is so for the first like 20 years of our marriage, 19 anyway, we didn't communicate really well about finances. We paid the bills, we managed to go on vacations, but we always felt completely out of step with each other, my husband and I. And we basically enlisted the help of a financial planner, somebody who's objective, who's outside of the two of us, who doesn't have skin in this game, isn't going to engage in a fight with us. Somebody who can look at all the resources that we do have and take into account, what do we want to accomplish? Like that's the very first question that the first question he asked us was, what is your vision for retirement? And we had completely different answers. And so right then I was like, wow, we are in good hands, because this is somebody who's going to help us, first of all, get a shared vision, and second of all, work towards it. And he's done that. He did that with so much more than just retirement. His name, by the way, is Stephen Taylor, and I actually have a conversation with him on my podcast. So if you go to WeTurnedOutOK.com/274, you can find, that's maybe where you're watching this video, but you can also find a lot of show notes, and Stephen Taylor's is in there. His interview link is in there. So you can listen to him as we talk about what it is like to be coached for financial purposes, and what it means and what you can get from it. And he's got lots of advice, even if you don't have a financial coach. But getting back to today's number 3 here, enlist outside help. It can be a financial planner. It can be a marriage and family therapist. It can be a family therapist. Like it can have, maybe it's something that is more of a big family thing. I offer parent coaching, and usually it's one parent who joins my coaching community, and we get to work personally to really figure out what their biggest challenges are and how to help them. But I would love it if it would be really, really fun. We've never had this yet, where maybe we get a parenting partnership. We get both parents in there. I would love the perspective of both parents, but find somebody to work with who is not in your relationship. You know what I mean? Somebody who can be objective, who can offer solutions you might never have thought of, even if it's just for you, even if it's something like what I do with parent coaching. Somebody that you can bounce ideas off of and try different things. So those are the 3 ways that I think of: communicate your vision, use a safe word, and get outside help. When I think of the safe word, I offer up tippy toes. It's really worked for us, but we know people who use the code word strawberry, and many, many others. You can use any word that you want. And again, go to episode 274, which the link is right in the show notes. If you want to hear the podcast episode, it's kind of an expanded version of this little video. And also for the other links that I mentioned. And if you like this video, I would really appreciate if you just hit the like button, if you'd share it even just with a friend or into a parenting group that you belong to. And finally, subscribe so that you never miss an episode. I do these every Thursday, and I love them so much. They make me really happy because I'm connecting with you and helping. And that to me is like the pinnacle. I love it so much. Okay, again, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I'm Karen Lockhope, and I will see you next week. Bye.